Today's topic is step 7 for intimacy anorexic. Well, if you're an intimacy anorexic and you've got to step 7, congratulations. Now, if you haven't watched 1 through 6, please go back and do that. And if you've yet to subscribe to our channel, please do, because that'll notify you when step 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 come out. Also, if you have a question, put it in the box. We will get to you as soon as possible. So stay tuned. Step 7 for intimacy anorexia. This is another big step. Not a lot of words in this step, but a lot of depth. So let me read it to you, and then we're going to cover it. Now, if you have the intimacy anorexia step workbook, go ahead and make sure you're filling all that out. Present it to your group. If you're not in a group, get in one of our phone groups. Please do this as a team. You'll get much more out of it if you do. So let's go ahead and read step 7. Step 7. Humbly ask Him to remove our shortcoming. So let's walk through this, because we're going to be in a process of asking, but it's not a regular asking. It's not like the steps aren't saying, hey, Doug, go ahead and make a cute little list of your things you don't like about yourself, and, just sit somewhere and say, God, can you help me with these, 29 things? No, it's not that. That's not what it's saying. Humbly asking is more if you're coming from a pretty deep place inside your heart. Let me put you in a place to maybe understand this. You just found out you have an incurable cancer. You know no doctor on the planet can help you. You know that death is imminent unless there's a miracle. Now you go to God and you say, God, and you cry out to God, and you get in there and you say, God, I have to have a miracle. I need this cancer removed from my life. I want to raise my kids. I want to live long. I want to be able to be on the earth longer than what the doctors are telling me. That's humbly asking. That's going to the mat with God. That's saying, God, this impatience, selfishness, lust, fear, my attitude towards my wife or women, this selfishness, this self-absorbedness, these things that I deal with as an intimacy anorexic, needing to be safe and worshiping safety as if I need to be safe. I mean, if you haven't watched my DVD on Indestructible, you don't need to be safe because your heart's indestructible. But anyway, you can have all these kind of false beliefs and attitudes. And with the anorexic, okay, you definitely need God's help. You want to move in and say, God, I need to stop withholding. God, I need, whatever the character defects are, get in with them. And some of them are going to be outside the kind of things about just general recovery. So humbly is a position of the heart. You're all in. You ask Him. Him we clarified already. Him is not your support group. Him is not some higher power that you created, okay, because it's subject to you. Him is Almighty God, God of heaven and earth, the one God. You are crying out to Him, and you're crying out to have something removed. Now, I wish I could tell you that when I was in my hotel room in New Mexico, I think it was Santa Fe. It was Santa Fe. I remember the room. I remember sitting there, and I had my list, and I went through it. I really went through it hard. I went through it hard. I still remember it. And I wish when I, walked out of that hotel room that all of Dr. Doug's character defects were gone. Some of them are still here. They're still being worked on. Okay, none of us totally arrived. God continues to work on character defects throughout our entire life. But the willingness for them to be gone was established. Now, God might decide on the order in which He addresses these. You might facilitate some of that by saying, hey, I can be accountable for this behavior or this type of withholding. I need to really set a consequence and be accountable and make a call every day. Yes, you can help definitely kind of shorten the process if you want to, but God's going to help you. You're going to need God, especially as an anorexic. You got to open your heart. Anorexia is a hard issue, and it's hard. So having God on your side, really a smart idea. Now, shortcomings. As an intimacy anorexic, by step 7, hopefully you're out of the good box, bad box, where, if you have a flaw, you're not loved, and you can't be wrong, you can't say you're sorry. By now, I'm thinking you're somewhat past that, at least for the majority of issues. So you know your shortcomings. You know that you're flawed and loved. You know that you have these patterns of withholding. You know that you have other behaviors, maybe impatience or unkindness or selfishness, or maybe the way you eat or spend money, or maybe the way you drink. Okay, you might have other issues that are not just about intimacy anorexia. In this step, you're addressing all of your shortcomings, not the ones that are just related to recovery. You're dealing with all of them. So some people have, quite an extensive list here, but it's really, really important that you do this step and you do it with integrity and you really cry out to God and you really get alone and you really make this happen. I strongly suggest you don't cry out to God for more than 1 shortcoming a day. 2 at the very most. You don't make this light, because if you do it well, you will be different, because your willingness to have these things change, your willingness to have God send you someone who maybe acts like you so that you can learn what that feels like, or watch your child act like you and go, oh my gosh, that's not good, okay? Or the right book or material or counselor or sponsor come into your life to help you move through some of these things. You deserve to be free from your shortcomings, but it is a process. If you do step 7, it can help you along the way quite a bit. So if you've yet to subscribe, please do that. Click the button. If you have a question about this step or anything that we've talked about, you can give us a shout out on the little box there, and we'll be happy to get back to you. So please do your step 7. You deserve an awesome recovery.